because Tommy G investigated the Epstein file cover up. Ooh.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Let's go,
Jeffrey
YouTube.
Epstein.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it?
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. This is a Democrat hoax. Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
He is now calling it a Democratic hoax.
The Epstein saga is not a hoax.
Evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence.
But the bottom line is the records are getting out.
The president says that a politicized hoax.
What the hell are they afraid of?
2 years ago, we talked about releasing the Epstein files. Last night, I was shocked to hear that you voted against releasing the Epstein files.
You got a lot of people that could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be.
And you're really calling the women who were in tears talking about in junior high a hoax? How demeaning, how insulting.
In junior high?
In junior high, some for 13, 14 years old.
I wanted to look into the Epstein file cover-up, but I didn't want to risk offending the president or doubting the FBI director's official narrative or making our politicians feel uncomfortable by asking too many questions. You know what? Fuck that. I'm not apologizing for anything. It's time to go gloves off. These people are lying to us, and I don't care whether it's Biden, Kamala, Trump. If you are in charge of our country and you're hiding, protecting a billionaire sex trafficking ring, then we, the people, are coming after you and have every right to demand the answers. In fact, we pay each and every day with our paycheck to demand answers and accountability from you. And our president, Donald Trump, actually talked about the Epstein files. Here's what him and his administration said before they won the election.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
It's pretty sick what that man did. 200 victims, well over 250 actually.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI. As the former #2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh no, you can't see that, nothing to see here.
And now that these people are in power, here's what they are saying.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. This is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
20 years ago, or whenever it was, 2006, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, nothing to do with it. But
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I put out a poll on my YouTube channel and 115,000 of you replied. And 96% of you said that the government is a bunch of filthy liars when it comes to the official narrative on the Epstein story. So me and my team boarded a plane and we flew to Washington, D.C. to launch a full-scale investigation. In doing so, we talked to United States senators, guys like Chuck Schumer, Ron Johnson and Rand Paul, as well as representatives like Nancy Mace, Hank Johnson, and the man that's leading the charge to push for transparency, Representative Ro Khanna. Furthermore, we joined forces with one of the top conspiracy theory experts on the internet, Mr. Ian Carroll, and we also spoke with a guy by the name of Mike Yeagley, a man who works with all of your favorite three-letter agencies and claims to have seen a version of the Epstein files himself. We get into this and much, much more. We are here in Washington, D.C., the beating heart of where it all goes down. And today we're looking into what might be the biggest cover-up in American history, the Epstein file list. The fact that the elites, the billionaires, the well-connected might be in a ring right before our eyes, and they are lying to our face about it.
This is a Democrat hoax. They're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
And I want you to suspend your tribalism for a moment. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or somewhere in between. This is about the truth. This isn't about one party or the other. I actually think they're probably both complicit in this. We're gonna get to the bottom of this because I think this is very important. So join me as we question, and we do one of the most American things there is, which is to question authority, demand the truth, and get the knowledge out to the people, we the people, who fund all of this. Let's begin.
My name's Ian Carroll, and I'm an independent journalist, researcher, content creator, and my slogan is follow the money, seek the truth. Jeffrey Epstein was an unqualified math teacher for the wealthiest of the wealthy, that then got recruited to be an unqualified banker, that then kind of failed out of banking during a scandal, and somewhere in there he got hooked up with human traffickers and blackmailers and started what appears to be the world's largest known sexual blackmail trafficking ring.
One of the guys leading the charges.
You know what's crazy about that, bro? How deep that shit is, bro. How deep and sickening and bad that shit is, bro. And one thing that keeps it pushing it deeper is that there is so much evidence, there's so much stuff that can be out there and put out there, and you know what I mean, so much of that stuff. People are wondering, why is this not like, why are we like really keeping this in? Like who is he to be holding this stuff in? Nobody, for real. Like, nobody. He wasn't a president. I don't think he worked for the government. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and the thing is too, you gotta think the minors. There's also celebrities that was through there, and it's crazy. Cause there's so many people that is like that too, or that can move like that. Thank you for the like, Rizzu. It's so disgusting, bro. And they're not saying anything, but they're just keeping it to themselves, bro.
Encouraging the government to release the files is Representative Roque.
And the fact that people get insight and stuff that is so bad, so much evidence, so much all that about it that is already out there, and then they're scared to let it go, bro. To go from Donald Trump saying, you know what, we're gonna release that stuff, to, you know, this is just it's all hoax.
From California. Ro Khanna, a Democratic congressman representing San Francisco, is co-leading the charge with Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie to force a release of the Epstein files. Seen on popular podcasts like Theo Von and Flagrant, he is a politician who is determined to be transparent. He's coming to the Airbnb. Bro. Hey, good to meet you. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Thank you for coming through.
I'm Ro. Good to meet you.
And he had this whole scheme where if you were rich and if you were powerful, you basically got away with assaulting girls. And then these rich and powerful men said, what are you going to do about it?
Proceeded to blackmail most of the most powerful people all around the world, which now is...
That's probably why this stuff won't come out, bro. The thing is, bro, your own president was with them.
The story that's broken all over everyone's newspapers and Twitter feeds. And he took that blackmail ring straight into the White House and visited Bill Clinton 17 times in the White House with the likes of Robert Maxwell and Ehud Barak, directly linked to the Israeli government. And Leslie Wexner bankrolled Jeffrey Epstein. And that's not just a matter of speech. He signed over power of attorney to Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein could have sold Victoria's Secret on behalf of Leslie Wexner.
I gotta say, I don't wear a suit often anymore, but I feel at least 10 IQ points higher right now. I feel good.
You gotta fix your collar, though. You gotta fix the collar. Come on, buddy.
I feel quite patriotic today. Getting the chance to talk to our elected officials and demand
Someone fix that, bro. It's kind of
accountability
making me
to
mad,
me
bro. I'm
something that
sorry.
makes me very proud to be an American.
It's like, ah. We're just sitting inside of that thingy.
So we're here with Representative Nancy Mace, one of the people that is leading the charge to expose the Epstein files. Let's just start with the basics. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Well, we don't have the camera evidence. We don't. I mean, wasn't the angle of the camera? Was it?
Wait.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Well, we don't have the camera evidence. We don't. I mean, wasn't the angle of the camera? Was it there?
I have no reason to believe that he didn't.
You don't think that there are suspicious details surrounding his death? The
I do.
Security cameras magically going off, the security guards falling asleep, being on suicide watch but still having access to material.
Yeah, I think there's suspicion, and I think we've got to keep getting the files out. But that may be something we never are able to figure out.
This is Mike Yeagley. He's an independent contractor, data analyst, and security specialist who provides critical intelligence support to elite military units and to the three-letter agencies that everyone watching this is familiar with. In other words, Mike's skill set is that in real time, he can track the location of nearly anyone in the world using specialized methods, and three-letter agencies hire him for this.
He can track me. Like, he know I'm right here, right now. Does he know I'm live?
This reason. He says in his possession is a version of the Epstein files, and he speaks on his theories based on the information he's reviewed. School teacher without a degree that magically got worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
It's kind of like congressmen that come to Washington with a net worth of $100,000 and 3 years later they've got $8.4 million net worth. How did that happen?
Dang.
Who is Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was the madam. She was the one female that could talk to an impressionable 15-year-old girl who wanted to be a model for the limited.
Basically grooming these young girls and bringing them to Epstein. She was there recruiting more junior high and high school students for Epstein. She was part of the abuse. And for her to...
No way. She was like the bait. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey was like the rod. Throwing her. Right? The island was the hook. I mean, the island was a person. Done. The rod was Jeffrey. The bait was her. Go get him. Get him. Pull him back in. Straight to the island, bro. Holy nasty, bro.
now get pardoned is a slap in the face of every survivor.
Do you think it's possible that that's going to happen?
This president is capable of anything. I also thought it was a slam dunk he would release the Epstein files. Something is there that's forcing him not to release it.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I bet you some stuff about him. I bet you it's some stuff about him. I bet you that if there was nothing about him, he would have did it. But not only that, yeah, that's really that.
Is the daughter of Robert Maxwell.
Her dad was an interesting character. There's no doubt about that.
Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime that made this business work. And she has a very interesting background. She's pictured here with her father, Robert Maxwell, who happened to be a media mogul, a textbook publisher, a known asset of Mossad, and he died under very suspicious circumstances.
He is very well known to have worked for Israel and Mossad through most of his life. Robert Maxwell was in publishing. He was a publisher, a power publisher, and his operation very much seems to be an influence operation focused around information and publishing, largely textbooks, the educational stuff that we all grew up reading.
So it's possible that the social studies book that I read in class in 5th grade that Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Jeffrey Epstein's father-in-law, in a way,
yeah,
had a hand in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
What? I'm not gonna hold you. I'm pretty sure I used to see Maxwell something well on the books. No way. And you know what's crazy? This is what makes you really think. There's so much stuff people use. There's so much stuff people do. There's so much people do with things and all that, like equipment, things to help you to use on your daily life. There's so much stuff out there that is being used that the creator of it is a sick person, bro. I'm telling you right now. I feel like a lot of things are used on a daily basis and really taught to people and showing people, but the person who created it it's sickening. But the product is so good, it's just something that don't get shown, don't get released, don't get. Oh my freaking God. What the frick? I'm pretty sure. I feel like I vividly seen.
Father-in-law, in a way.
In a way. Yeah.
Well, as I read in
Okay, no, it was a McDonald Hill. Yeah, it was a hill. It was a hill. No, I feel like I seen it, but I feel like I
class
seen it though, bro.
whose company Macmillan,
My
ain't
bad.
that right? Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, had a hand in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, you heard that right. Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, was a textbook mogul whose company, Macmillan Inc., made a joint venture with McGraw-Hill, and this partnership made them the second biggest publisher of American textbooks in the late 80s and early 90s. In fact, you may have used one of his books to study in your class at school. And while it is not official that he was working for Israel or Mossad, he was a British citizen that was given a lavish funeral in a historic Israeli cemetery that was reportedly attended by the Israeli president, top Israeli intelligence officials, and the eulogy was given by their prime minister, who said that Maxwell was almost a mythological figure. Yeah, it sounds like it. So it seems at least one thing Epstein and Maxwell had in common was having frequent contact with Israeli prime ministers. But more on that later in this episode.
He had stolen all kinds of crazy money, and then he just fell off his boat and died. And all the money went missing. No one ever found it. I've heard some interesting theories about how Epstein seems to have turned up with a very similar amount of money, basically that same year.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Whoa, that is kind of, oh my God.
And what happened is there was a cover-up. Epstein got a slap on the wrist. There was no one who talked to the survivors. And a lot of other rich and powerful men who he farmed out underage girls to basically have not been held accountable. Thomas Massey and I, Republican, Democrat, have said release the files. And we called the survivors to the steps of the Capitol. For 10 years, no one had heard them. They started telling their stories. They broke down in tears.
But I wasn't the only one. None of us were.
Well, if a country can't stand up for survivors, we've lost our moral soul. If we can't protect children, we've lost our moral soul.
In that case, we've been lost it, bro. We've been lost it, bro. Like, Gideon's a perfect example of the reasoning of why we can't. He kept so many PDF files. He kept so much of them, to the fact that when you see it all happening, we're not gonna do nothing about it. He can go scot-free. It's okay. It's fine. We're not gonna do nothing. He's not going to jail. We're not gonna lock him up. This may be a bunch of lies. When there's proof, he has proof. Oh, this may be AI. Oh, this may be ChatGPT. Oh, he's the perfect example of it all. And it's like, you can see nothing happens, bro. There could be so many problems. Like, for example, now, the David situation. Now it's just it's a lot of stuff that's doing. It's a lot of look right now. David situation. This is good on his end. This is bad on his end. See, the good right here is not dropped down to the bottom, because there's a lot of stuff that keep popping up where it's like, I heard that he was blackmailed. Oh, I heard that his friends was, that she lied to him, and then then there was some jealousy thing going on where it's now, I didn't really get into that. I didn't see too much about the jealousy, some jealousy thing about, there's two girls named the same name, Celeste. It's like, what the frick is going on? So now we're sitting here. Now we're sitting here, because but this is bad, you know what I'm saying? There's so much, and it's bringing it down to where it's like, I can't even, it's not equal. I still gotta be on this side of it, because, like, bro, it's too bad and too, like, oh my God, to like, bro, come on. He didn't do it yet. But the thing is, nothing happened to him yet, and that's why this one is not blowing up like this, where so much stuff, oh, got him, you know what I mean? Is a perfect example of, like, how a 13-year-old girl goes missing for so long. Nothing's happening. She's for so long, and no, like, Come on, bro. She's a girl. People blowing up friends and no response for a long time. Okay, something's going on with my daughter. Something's going on with my friend. Nothing, bro.
This is not political.
And the thing is, David's still out there. You know, David's still free. You know what I mean? It's like, dang. Nothing's going on.
It's a moral issue, and we're going to fight to get these files released.
A lot of independents like myself cheered for Trump over Kamala because one of the things he campaigned on was releasing the Epstein files. He is now calling it a Democratic hoax. But then at the same time, he's the key contributor of an agent helping bring it down. Which one is it? Recently, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson claimed,
He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
Then Mr. Mike Johnson changed his story to this.
If I use the right word, I said FBI informant. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. This isn't my lane.
So this guy, that's third in line to the presidency, isn't sure whether Trump is an FBI informant or not. And because the White House narrative on Epstein changed...
Ain't no way you go from, no, man, I don't even know. I don't know.
Changes so fast. My question to Nancy Mace was, which story is it?
I hear, hey, this is a witch hunt with the media who've lied about him for years. So like, I get his frustration. They're trying to portray him as this horrible human being when he's actually not the bad guy. He's not the boogeyman in this. The boogeyman is dead. And his little black book, who knows where it is.
So,
same time, come on. Like, you don't think that he didn't know about this? He wasn't part of it at some point. A night of it happened, he wasn't part of it. He didn't help so whatsoever. Come on, bro. That's where there's some information in that where it's like it's too much. Either where I can't put this too much in because then it's gonna rely on. I was a problem too. I was a part of it too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because I'm telling you right now, if there is anything in that book about Trump, he has the power and will to release everything else. If it has me in that, if it has something for me tied in that, do not keep that in. And I'm pretty sure, and it's like, okay, I'm sorry, Trump. There's a lot of stuff in there that some people can tie you to it somehow, some way, bro. There's a lot of stuff in there where you're involved in. I can't. It's gonna be uneven. It's gonna be patchy. It's gonna be like we're hiding stuff. There's no point of doing it. Might as well just keep it for ourselves. That's dead. That's dead. Probably what's going on, bro. For real. That's dead. Probably what's going on.
And I do think there is a massive cover-up. I don't think Trump, he has nothing to do with it.
I read something that 1,000 FBI agents are working around the clock to redact his name in particular. ABC News and other...
What'd I say, bro? What'd I say? What did I say? He has the power and will to do it, bro. And come on, bro. And think it's two, or that what could be going on, right? They're in the process of releasing it, but there's so much they're doing to redact his name out of it and try to fix it up where it's like, okay, cool. He should be fine. Now we can release it, guys. All right, guys, it's good to release now. It's good. Trump, you're good. No, I don't even worry about it. No one's going to have a lick of anything that you were part of.
Outlets reported in July of 2025 that Pam Bondi allegedly told Trump that his name was in the Epstein files. Then, Senator Dick Durbin made the allegation that the FBI was having agents work around the clock to cover for Trump. Now, if the claims of Senator Durbin are true, it is disturbing to learn what lengths this administration will go to cover this story up.
We don't have 1,000 agents we can dedicate to one thing like that. They're just
so possible nonsense story.
Physically impossible.
Are you lying, lady?
In the files.
What makes you sure to say that? Hank Johnson is a Democratic congressman from Georgia. Here was his take on the current state of the Epstein file cover-up.
Well, because he had 1,000 FBI agents combing through the records to remove his name. The Epstein saga is not a hoax. It's not fake. It is real. Thousands of victims, not just from the United States of America, but from across the world.
They're not buying the bullshit. Maybe 20 years ago when somebody could go on Meet the Press and the story was controlled in a news cycle that lasted for 20 minutes with Tim Russert, you could get away with that. I don't think you can get away with that anymore.
Now they're saying, what force is so powerful that even Donald Trump is not able to release these files?
I saw that for the petition to release the files, only 4 Republicans put their name on it.
Courageous, 4 courageous Republicans. Though.
3 of them women, Lauren Boebert,
Marjorie
MTG,
Taylor Greene, yeah.
Nancy Mace,
yeah.
and
Massey.
Where the hell are the rest of the Republicans on this?
The
How could you
oversight-
possibly
well,
vote against it?
Well, it hasn't come for a vote yet. So we just signed our names to it. Once it gets to 218, very soon, then it'll come to the floor for a vote.
Let's look.
I feel like she's maybe I'm tweaking.
Look more at the question of why Republicans are largely not voting to release the Epstein files. Well, first, let's consider that the Trump administration allegedly declared it to be a hostile act if they voted for the release. Interesting. To the common man, it appears most Republicans are compromising their integrity because they are intimidated or afraid of Donald Trump, allegedly. And to me, the story of a party acting spineless to protect their leader instead of doing what they are supposed to do, which is represent us, their voting base, is similar to when the Democrats pretended that former President Joe Biden was not a dementia patient running for re-election. The bottom line is lying or covering for your party is cowardly, and we as Americans should be mad when either side does this.
Yeah, for sure, something going on with Biden. Oh,
surprisingly, we're getting one of the top Democrats, probably the top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, to speak to us. Hey.
By the way, this is the original Gilbert Stuart of George Washington.
Really?
They used it for the portrait of the dollar bill. Isn't that amazing?
This is a beautiful building to be in.
Isn't it? Yeah.
You tried to pass a resolution to prompt the release of the Epstein files.
Right, we did. They don't want to vote on it, but we found a good way to force them to vote on it today, and we did. And they're squirming because so many of them have said. Mitch McConnell has said release the Epstein files. John Thune has said release the Epstein. Mitch McConnell.
I respect you, Mitch, but oof.
Has said release the Epstein files. John Thune has said release the Epstein files. Marsha Blackburn has said it. Tom Johnson has said it. They've all said it. Now they get a vote, and they vote to just keep concealing it.
Why?
What the hell are they afraid of? They're either covering up for Donald Trump, who we know is worried about these files because he's lied about it constantly. He's the one who made a campaign issue out of this. He said release the Epstein files.
Him, Kash Patel, Pam
Yeah,
Bondi,
they
J.D.
all said
Vance,
it.
they all
They're
said
the
it.
ones who pushed to release the files, and frankly,
that's what y'all get. A lot of people gotta understand. All these presidents lie to get you on their side, bro. And that's why people, oh, who you debate? I don't know. I'm not. I mean, who you vote for? I don't know, bro. Blah 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 said this. Yo, said that. Yo, blah blah said this. You understand that y'all could be lying to you to just get you to. That's all they gotta do. All they gotta do is a vote. Hey, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do this. A word? Okay, I'm on your side now. Just lie. And then what? So basically, I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know, I know I said I'm gonna do it, but honestly, I can't do it. Whole time you was not finna do that. Come on. You're just getting pulled over for lies. A lot of these predators are not actually good-hearted. They're not. You gotta understand that, bro.
good number of people, even on the MAGA right, said release the files as well, because they thought, hey, maybe this shows that Donald Trump is part of the whole corrupt scheme that he claims to want to undo. No one believes Trump.
I promise you no one does. He's
last night
not
we met with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and they forced a vote to try and release the Epstein files, and it failed. 51 to 49, the Republicans squashed it. We're gonna meet with our Wisconsin friend Ron Johnson, who voted against it. Ron, we have to have a very candid conversation here because 2 years ago, you told me you wanted to release the files. Do you believe that there's anything fishy about the death of Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, certainly it's fishy. The cover-up of the list of individuals that visited Epstein Island
Doesn't that seem crazy?
Is pretty fishy. I will say, I think this is true, is mainly people of the left that Jeffrey Epstein was courting and that took advantage of his island pleasures.
Don't you feel like anyone that's on that list should be looked into?
Well, I think we should have a full investigation of Jeffrey Epstein and his activities.
Does it feel like it's been kind of brushed under the rug?
Yes, because it has been.
We're gonna find more of that out in just a few minutes here.
Oh, he pulling up on a dude who switched up.
Now is the time for a few good men to come to the aid of their country. Hello, how are you? Good, I'm Tommy. I'm here for an interview with Mr. Johnson. And then look, I mean, who knows? This might be true, but otherwise this is the culture war is getting fanned with this. I wonder if a foreign country would like it if we were divided about that kind of stuff.
All right, well, let's get you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey there. Mr. Johnson.
Tommy, how you doing?
Good to see you again, man.
Nice to see you.
How are you? 2 years ago, when we met, we talked about releasing the Epstein files. Last night, I was shocked to hear there was a resolution on the floor, and it didn't pass. You voted against it, 49 to 51, against releasing the Epstein files.
Well, I understand. That was a poison pill in a process of trying to pass the National Defense Authorization Act. First of all, I'm as curious as anybody.
Morning. How are you? I'm Tommy. Nice to meet you guys. Where would you like us to set up?
I think y'all are going to be in the conference room.
Hello.
Hey, an absolute honor. My name's Tommy. Nice to meet you.
I think one of the things that really annoys people is they think, well, maybe some rich people don't have the same justice. I'm just an ordinary person. I live in a middle-class home, but this really rich guy can do stuff, you know, that if I did, I'd go to jail. And I think that's the way I look at the Epstein thing. I don't have any facts about it. I'm not consumed by it, but it's
Literally, I feel like this happens. I feel like a lot of things in the world, bad, happens on a daily. Something just happened right now as I'm speaking. Mind just a big world. And it's like, we gotta get to that, bro. And we're not.
at the same time, I
We're
think
letting it
that
go.
there's a perception out there that wealthy people got away with stuff and that something's being hidden.
So you started out talking about Epstein. It's certainly not my priority, but let's start out, truthfully. Let's start out and talk about what happened yesterday. What happened?
He's trying to, come on, bro. I don't know if Tommy came in for that, but I don't think Tommy came in for talk about Kirk, man. You trying to scare him away from him, bro.
Charlie Kirk dwarfs. I mean, the Epstein file is dwarfed by the implications of what happened.
Senator Johnson, I agree with all of these points. I agree, but I do feel like we are derailing from the Epstein file. You have
See, he's avoiding talking about this, yo. He's avoiding it. Oh my God, he's dead avoiding it. The whole 5-minute thing was just him talking about the whole little situation. Man, he's avoiding it. And and before Tommy cut, I think he was trying to say everyone's so like, oh, on the Epstein side, but there's a bigger thing. Bro, shut up, bro. Listen. Niggas die every day, B. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Niggas die in the wrong way, right? About that time for a lot of people. But like, bro, I understand the way it happened was crazy, was sad, but brother, you got something that happened like that is wrong. Okay, Kirk's one was wrong. It was wrong, yes, wrong. But you got something that is even more, like, I don't care. Even more, right? PDF files, traffic, grapes and peaches and stuff on those minors, 200 something plus, scamming and stuff, all that happening for years, and now it's getting pushed on the rug. Because a lot of people, come on, bro. This is bigger than it should be cracked down on and just put out there.
Again, we'll get to the Epstein files. I don't have that much to say about them because I don't know anything about them.
Why did you vote against releasing it?
Because that was a charade. That was a poison pill trying to derail the passage of the National Defense Authorization Act. The Epstein files will eventually get released, okay?
It's a perfect example of government not trying to, is lies. Straight connivers, liars,
We
man.
followed up with a couple Senate offices to see if they knew what Ron Johnson meant by this poison pill theory he's talking about, and they were just as confused as we were. You spoke with some of those victims last week. What can you tell the American people what you learned in that meeting?
I was moved to tears.
Well, I think my face showed it all. I left the meeting early in tears. It was just really, I'm going through something that's very raw and very similar. I'm about just under 2 years into my own trauma. I want to say that these women are very, very brave.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, sure.
So how does it feel to have your whole party turning against you, to have the president turning against you, to have all this political power coming to bear on you just for trying to hold accountable in our government?
Well, as long as I've got the people back home for me and the people out in the country for me, that's okay. I've never tried to make it my priority to worry about my friendships here. I think half the reason people are motivated to keep them secret is embarrassment.
We are looking at the most blatant cover-up.
Robin. I like that. Embarrassment. To let all of this stuff happen. Let it all happen. Get up to the head of the head, top of the government. Spread out all in the government. And kept going. And y'all didn't do nothing about it. Y'all worked with it. Y'all were peaceful. Y'all were cool with it. That's embarrassing. And they're not trying to...
The dumbest lies are being used. Are you not sure that there's something fishy going on?
I think there's something very fishy going on. And then you had one of the victims that died recently,
Virginia Giuffre. According to Trump's own words, Virginia Giuffre appears to be a key part of why he and Epstein had a falling out. And we'll cover this more in detail later in the episode.
I'm happy to try and extract those from the government. Yesterday's vote wasn't the time to do it.
Okay. The Wall Street Journal published what may or may not be a birthday card from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. They're known friends, known associates, many photos together, but Trump is suing them for $10 billion to Jeffrey Epstein.
U.S. Congress released alleged 2003 birthday letter from Trump to Epstein. Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeff, not what since I also know where it is. Donald, we have to have certain things in common, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff, yes, we can think of it, Donald. I don't know what this is. Look at that, bro. That's sick.
They're known friends, known associates, many photos together, but Trump is suing them for $10 billion for defamation and other reasons. Is that a threat to freedom of speech, to sue someone $10 billion for publishing something?
First of all, I think President Trump is involved in something like 3,000 lawsuits in business.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's what he does, you know.
For a guy who keeps talking about free speech, he's awfully sensitive when the speech is speech he doesn't like.
Just
what I've just read is that, you know, 3 forensic handwriting analysts say that is not Trump.
Well, I tracked down the survivors' lawyers, and we went to Epstein's estate, and we said, okay, send us this birthday book. And lo and behold, the birthday book existed. They sent us the birthday book, and it turns out that there was Donald Trump's letter.
On the day we were in D.C. covering the story, the Wall Street Journal republished what they claimed was a birthday card from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. In response, Trump filed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the
10 billion. Just get that book pulled down.
Journal, saying that it caused him, quote, overwhelming financial and reputational harm. And folks, this seems to be the Trump family playbook. If you print something they don't like, they might just hit you with a massive, almost impossibly big lawsuit. I mean, just recently, Melania Trump sued Hunter Biden for over $1 billion over a claim that Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump, allegedly. And it then occurred to me that Trump might sue me for this very episode. So I called my lawyer to get his take.
Tommy G.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm now getting a little bit scared.
Tommy, what the heck, bro? You finna get hit with the meanest lawyer in your world, in your whole life, Genki. He probably hit you with the. He may go 100 billion on your tail, bro. He ain't going 10 billion. This is a 44-minute video. Just a picture was released. He said 10 billion. He going to hit you with a mean 50 billion, cuz.
That I'm going to get sued by the Trumps for an obscene amount of money.
Well, just always say, it's been said, it's been alleged. We don't have, like much of this, we don't have factual support, but it's been, some have the opinion that. Just couch what you're saying.
And then what if I still do that and he still sues me?
Well, that'd be great for your career.
You don't think he'll win?
No.
So it's a nonsense lawsuit just to scare people?
Yep.
And would it get thrown out by most reasonable people?
Yeah, because he's a public figure. They're both public figures, so they'd have to show that you have actual malice toward him. Also, I just wouldn't be too afraid of this.
This brings us to the bigger issue of free speech. If publications and journalists...
Jimmy Kimmel was a big example. It said some street print. She got fired. He got back, got a job. But come on, bro. Off of free speech to a man who's just a regular man in the world. God dang, to have a regular man in the world who just speaks freely about government. Just a regular nigga who, like I said, so you know what? I'm gonna speak at the world of government. So just another nigga who's just bigger than everyone, bigger than these other speakers and shit like that, nigga.
Are scared into silence or sued
Nothing
into
crazy.
This sets a dangerous
Not a
precedent
president.
for journalism in this country.
Not no one.
And in fact,
Oh
a week
my
after
God,
these
he
interviews
saved
were
so
filmed,
many people.
Trump has now also sued the New York Times for $15 billion also for defamation. So before I comment more on this Epstein story, first a quick disclaimer. In case Donald Trump or his lawyers see this, I just want to make it absolutely clear that his signature on the birthday card is totally fake and it's fake news. And so just to show you how fake it is, we're going to compare it to real signatures from Donald Trump. Here, you guys can see it for yourself. Now that we've conclusively proved that it's not real,
Tommy's a troll. Tommy is a troll.
Are they being blackmailed, threatened,
Well, that's
extorted?
the question. Who's controlling this? What are the powerful interests? Why is there such a reluctance to release it? It's like they're making it a bigger story every day that they don't release it.
Would he be acting in a way where he is hiding something?
It's hard to explain. From a technical perspective, I don't think there's anything that he needs to avoid. That technical information is available.
He's saying it's a nothing story and it's a hoax. Do you believe that?
I believe that there are Democrats that are using it as a wedge, as a political wedge.
Yeah.
And they're trying to infer that he's a nefarious person. I do think that that is part of what he's describing when he says hoax. I don't think nobody thinks that these women are lying.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does, absolutely nobody.
I think it's hard to look at this situation and say, yeah, Donald Trump has been very transparent and he's not trying to bury this. He's trying to say that when people ask him in a press conference, like, why are you even asking about this? How dare you? This is old news.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Do you think these files should be released completely
Come on,
unredacted
gang.
for
You
all
know
of us to
why,
see?
Well, yes, I believe in full disclosure of the files, releasing all the names, everything, but we would need to ensure that we redact for any child sexual abuse material or CCM underage kids.
Sure.
And that we would redact the names of victims. So that would be my only caveat to that. Yes, release it all. And for that, I'm on the bill. I've signed the
Hey, release it all, bruh. Well. Maybe not release the detailed stuff about the stuff that happened to the kids. You know what I'm saying? the pictures and all that is, keep that to yourself. Redact that. But the names, how they got there, what they did to get there, them had to get there. The kid, hey, release names. Listen, this happened years ago. Either they're grown adults or they're not here with us. If they are not here with us, condolences to the families and stuff. But on the other side of that, release it all, bro. Okay, drop the kids' names. Listen, we may be able to find a relative that was. Wait a minute, that was my great granny. Wait, that was my great auntie. Release that, bro. You know, that was my auntie. Release that, bro. Listen, they're adults now.
Charge petition, and I will be voting for the bill when it comes to the floor of the House in a couple of weeks.
And we applaud you for that. Honestly, it's refreshing to see people going for transparency.
Yeah.
So people are very happy that you're doing that. Let's talk facts about the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. He previously said, I don't know the guy.
Oh, come on.
He said that with there being thousands, maybe even millions of pictures of him with someone. What in the world?
Yeah, he knew the guy.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald
Look at y'all two.
Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of...
It is even said that he likes beautiful men as much as I do. And many of them are, oh my God.
females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
So there are 5 people taking the 5th Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the 5th. If you're innocent, why are you taking the 5th Amendment?
I know I'm not friends with any professional sex traffickers or pedophiles. I think, like, when you're...
Yeah.
This, to me, is suspicious of... You said you didn't know the guy. We were tired of it.
I mean, he's been photographed with him. I mean, they.
Yeah, we were tired during the Biden administration of lies. A lot of us, especially independents, were like, man, this is the time that the veil is actually going to get peeled back. The JFK files, the Epstein files. There's going to be transparency. A guy that was targeted by the justice system is now going to... And it seems like, to the average person watching this, that our very own president is part of it.
Can we at least agree a birthday card, as gross as that is, has nothing to do with
That's so
trafficking?
bad.
I mean, there's
No, not at all. But he says he didn't know the guy. You knew the guy.
Well, aside from the numerous photos that they've had together, aside from the new reporting about the birthday book and the letters that he sent to him that's coming out.
Allegedly.
Aside from all of the statements from both of them that they were very close friends, aside from everyone that saw them hanging out together all through the 80s, aside from all that, yeah, we don't really know.
Why specifically did Trump and Epstein have a falling out, apparently?
Trump claims that Epstein took staff from his spa, took Virginia Giuffre and maybe others from his hotel.
And how old was Virginia at this time?
I believe that she was 16 at the time that she was taken.
Let's talk about a girl. Hold on. I think
Trump claims that Epstein took staff from his spa, took Virginia Giuffre and maybe others from his hotel.
And how old was Virginia at this time?
I believe that she was 16 at the time that she was taken from the spa. I don't know for sure. I know that she was 17 with Andrew. When you're talking about victims, like, it feels like it matters extra to tell their story as truly as you can to what they said, because of everything they've gone through, and especially Virginia, who not only went through the recruitment, the grooming, the abuse for years, but also everything since, and the bravery to tell the story and to, in one way or another, give her life to the story and to the victims in general to expose this. We owe her a great deal. I can't imagine that 2 dudes as close as Trump and Epstein were back then, that are into the evil things that Epstein was definitely into, and the questionable things that Donald Trump has openly talked about having been into.
Such as?
Such as pageantry, such as walking into the dressing rooms at his pageants while they are changing.
Donald Trump loves a beauty pageant. And by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
No, they're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
I find it hard to imagine that they're breaking up their whole friendship because one of them was trying to recruit employees from a spa. Who knows? Everyone has their own theories. But I suspect that Trump is implicated in the files in some ways. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that he committed a crime. Doesn't mean that he ever had sex with a minor. Doesn't mean they had him on camera doing anything. It could just mean that he did business deals alongside these people over the years.
Folks, when I hear about the mysterious and nefarious character of Jeffrey Epstein,
So it's not what the word?
it makes you wonder what he was like in person. In 2002, Trump said, quote, "He's a great guy." But Melinda Gates, who met him once, described her meeting with him like this.
He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
In fact, her husband Bill Gates' relationship with Epstein was so disturbing that it was a key reason she ended her marriage of 27 years to one of the world's richest men. And because Trump considered Epstein to be a great guy and even invited him to a second wedding in 1993, I was curious what caused Trump to stop being pals with Epstein. Here's what Trump said about it.
But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing, I didn't like it. Other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. He was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Did one of those stolen, persons, does that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa.
Another theory on Trump and Epstein's falling out speculates that it was a bidding war on a 60,000 square foot mansion that contributed towards the end of their friendship, allegedly. So hypothetically, you could speculate on the Epstein files.
Hypothetically, I could say that one could name names, the names that everybody wants to know.
But from what you've seen, is President Trump implicated in the files?
I don't know. If there was something in there that was damning to him as a man, let alone candidate, I think that shit would have come out during the election, during the criminal trials. I think the Democrats would have gotten it out if there was something there.
Mike Yeagley brings up a point that a lot of Republicans have also said, which is why is it that much of the mainstream media and many of the Democrats seemingly refuse to cover Epstein and Trump's relationship until now? It doesn't make sense to me either. If the files are so damaging to Trump, why didn't the left unleash this on him during the election cycle, which surely would have been the strategic move? Or is it possible that the damage the Epstein files will cause is so great to both Democrats and Republicans that both sides are too scared for the files to truly come out? I'd love to hear your theory in the comments.
I try to avoid the Trump side of it because there is a whole rabbit hole to go down on Trump of his history with people like Roy Cohn, his history with Epstein, his history with these business deals and with these pageants and all these things. But ultimately, I care more about the Epstein files themselves because they're way bigger than Trump. It's not just Trump that's implicated. It's our entire government. It's our entire deep state apparatus.
Allegedly.
That's the thing about blackmail is you don't know who's controlled. You don't know who's compromised. We don't know how many strings are being pulled.
If you had to speculate, what kinds of people are on this list as far as the positions they hold, the power they have?
I think you would see high-profile media types, university presidents, CEOs beyond those that have already been called out, actors, rappers. You might see a religious figure here and there.
Do you think foreign intelligence operatives are involved in this?
I do.
Can you speak more about how this could be a honeypot operation?
I think a lot of Americans don't have a strong understanding of how blackmail works because it's not something that we deal with in our regular lives. And I think that a lot of Americans are starting to think about it more and understand it more. And most people arrive at the very surface level first and they think that's the whole story. You'd think it's like, oh, you get them on camera having sex with a minor and then you own them and they do everything you tell them to. And ultimately, that's not the only form of blackmail or honeypot that works. And ultimately, it's never that simple. Everyone does things in their life that they're ashamed of, that they would rather be able to take back. But that blackmail that you have from your past baggage, it never goes away. And so as you achieve a position of power later in life, you bring all that baggage with you, for better and for worse. And if anyone can find it and exploit it, then maybe you are about to work for them.
Do you think it's likely that Jeffrey Epstein was part of an intelligence agency and this was a honeypot operation to compromise people with blackmail?
I think that every option is on the table. I think it's an absolute possibility. I think, you know, I've never seen a honeypot operation, but I've heard stories of honeypot operations in our country, other countries, that it's a thing that they do. Davos, for example, that there are stories of prostitutes that show up and all these things go on. You have to think to yourself, we're not that stupid or that gullible. Somebody's filming something somewhere and gonna hold it over someone's head for some deal. I would be shocked if that does not go on.
Now this is the infamous jet, the Lolita Express, that some of the most influential and powerful people in the world took this jet to places like his island, where they did unspeakable things with minors. And this was likely part of the whole blackmail operation. But let me draw your attention back to this. Now, how did Epstein get this jet? Well, he bought it from none other than our friend Leslie Wexner, the guy that owns Victoria's Secret. And not only did he buy the jet from him, but he also happened to be this billionaire's financial advisor, even though Jeffrey Epstein got fired from Wall Street. What qualifications did Epstein have to advise billionaires on their financial assets? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Who is Leslie Wexner?
Leslie Wexner is one of the wealthiest and most powerful Jewish Zionist philanthropists and business owners in the world. He's a multi-billionaire. He lives in Ohio. He's from Ohio. And he founded L Brands, which is best known for Victoria's Secret. It's also Bath & Body Works. It's also Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch. It's a whole bunch of these brands. Leslie Wexner had Jeffrey Epstein managing basically his whole estate for over a decade. He later claimed that Jeffrey stole money from him and that he didn't know anything about what Jeffrey Epstein was up to, because it's plausibly deniable because he had signed over power of attorney. So Jeffrey Epstein could have done anything and he would never have known. So it's awfully coincidental. And then it's also coincidental that his other giant company, Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, that was run by a pedophile too. He put in his guy, Mike Jeffries, when he bought Abercrombie & Fitch in, I believe, 98.
You see what I mean? The stuff that we wear, do something on a daily. The creator may have a problem. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Or late 90s. He put in Mike Jeffries as his CEO to turn the company around. And Abercrombie bought Hollister. They started targeting more young people. They launched all of the fashion catalogs for the young male model thing. And it turns out that that CEO that he put in was running a giant male sexual pedophile ring. And he was flying these young male models to like go and have crazy orgies with all sorts of messed up shit going on all around the world. And that guy just got popped last year, and they wrapped it up with the insanity defense because he has Alzheimer's and he can't remember. So it's just kind of weird that Leslie Wexner, who was the bankroll behind Jeffrey Epstein, had two different running two of his giant fashion brands in the modeling industry, and no one's ever asked him a single question. He's still a billionaire living in a mansion in Ohio, and he's completely free.
Do you see any overlap between the Epstein story and Israel?
I don't know, because I don't know what the files are. So there are some people who have alleged that Mossad is involved or that there are a foreign intelligence involved. I don't know. What I do know from Bradley Edwards, the lawyer of the victims, is he says that there are foreign actors involved.
Now you might be wondering who some of the shadowy figures leaving Epstein's house masked up are. Well, that's none other than former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. What was he doing there?
We have recent email leaks from Ehud Barak that is his entire email inbox from almost a year's worth of time, and they communicated almost every day, often multiple times a day, direct contact about basically everything that they were doing. He also visited him frequently, and there's a whole year of time where Ehud Barak's known visits to Epstein were monthly on a schedule. Most people were visiting Epstein in what seemed like a leisure sense, but Ehud Barak was visiting him on a regular schedule. And he was also sneaking in and out of Epstein's mansion in disguise. Jeffrey Epstein referred not just Ehud Barak, but also Benjamin Netanyahu to JP Morgan. That's the current Prime Minister of Israel. Why is a random lone referring the current Prime Minister of Israel to JP Morgan?
Allegedly.
Oh, that's very well proven.
I'm scared of getting sued.
Yeah.
He said, nah,
One theory we heard is that Trump's not in the files in a bad way, but the reason that he's protecting it is because the fallout could be so great that it could collapse governments, it could collapse things.
And I've stated this on 9/11 as well. It's the Jack Nicholson, that comment, can you handle the truth?
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
It's a legitimate responsibility of the leader to take a look at something and go, this is probably better kept hidden.
It's possible that what he is protecting or trying to avoid would be a crisis, considering hypothetically, who is probably involved.
So you think no matter who this impacts, we should go after them?
Absolutely.
You and other Republicans, if top Republicans were named on the Epstein file, would you guys be willing to take care of them and to make sure that they are
I think
answered for their
regardless
crimes?
of party, if you're a child rapist, you should see capital punishment. You should get the death penalty.
Americans can handle the truth. Americans deserve the truth from their government.
I think we will pass the House, which is a huge issue, with the MAGA House passing it. And I think there'll be a lot of momentum to pass it in the Senate. But then Donald Trump can veto it.
What are the implications if we don't release the Epstein files?
When John F. Kennedy was president, trust in America was 60%. Today it's in the teens. People don't believe the government's working for them. People believe the rich and powerful don't have accountability. People believe that the whole thing is rigged, and they elected Trump partly to unrig it. And now they see 7 months in, he's part of the whole swamp. If we don't have the release, we're going to continue to erode trust in self-government.
The main thing about Epstein that everyone should know right now is that we don't need the files. The files are in many ways meaningless. Yes, it would be great to have our law enforcement agencies doing their job and investigating the case and looking for evidence to take down people that were involved, whether they were co-conspirators or whether they were clients, so to speak. We don't need them, and we don't need those files because we already have in the public domain way more than enough to prosecute many people that were involved, to interview at least many more, and they're all just out there walking free.
Folks, one of the coolest things about being an American is by questioning the narrative, questioning our government, demanding truth, and not being afraid to speak out about anything. Part of American history, if you go all the way back to the Boston Tea Party, is questioning a government that we view to be tyrannical. And this government has decades of lying under its belt, both Republican and Democrat. They owe it to us. We are the ones that foot the bill. We are the ones that can't afford health care, housing, food on the table, while these people are protecting a billionaire sex trafficking pedophile ring. So folks, I say to you, read as many books as you can. Get in the gym and get in fighting shape. Get ready to rumble, because if shit needs to hit the fan, you better be ready. Folks, this is Tommy G. I love my life, I love you, and I love this country. Signing off, see you next week.
Appreciate doing business with you, Tommy. W freaking video. W YouTube.